If you've ever looked into the skin trade in Counter-Strike 2, you've probably seen something interesting. No matter where you look, someone is giving investment advice on the skin trade. Buy this case, buy this collection, buy these stickers, wait for the rotation, wait for the discontinuation, and suddenly you're supposed to double your money. The way the skin trade is explained by most people makes it sound like this perfectly logical system where if you just follow these simple rules, you're guaranteed to make money. The truth of the matter, however, is that the CS skin trade is actually more similar to the real stock market than most people realize. While most people look at the skin trade and see it for what it is, investors are looking at something entirely different. Most people look at the skin trade emotionally. Whether the skin looks nice, whether the skin is popular, whether the gun this skin is for is used a lot in matches. Investors, on the other hand, are looking at something entirely different. Investors are looking at the numbers, the supply, the trade up, the drop, the farm, and most importantly, the timing. One of the largest fallacies that people believe is that as long as something gets discontinued, then it's a good investment. This is something you hear constantly. Just buy a skin from a certain set, wait for Valve to get rid of it from the drop pool, and then the price will skyrocket. And in a way, this does happen because you can point to numerous examples where a certain skin or a certain set of skins increased in value significantly after they were removed from the drop pool. However, the reason why these items increase in price isn't because they were removed from the drop pool. The reason why these items increase in price is because of a phenomenon called scarcity. Scarcity, in a nutshell, is the real driver behind the movement in the price of items in the Counter-Strike 2 economy. This is because as a result of scarcity, as long as there are a certain number of items out in the market and people want these items, then the prices are going to increase significantly over a short period of time. However, as a result of scarcity, if you were to take a certain set of items and you were to realize that tens of thousands of these items are out in the market, then even though you remove the source, you're not really doing anything other than stopping the source from continuing to grow in supply. That's why you see certain skins skyrocket in value and you see other skins, even though they get removed from the drop pool, not really move in price at all. This is because people tend to not realize the actual supply of a certain item that's out in the market because they see a certain chart and they realize that a certain skin got removed. So they think, well, the price must increase over a certain period of time. However, as an investor, you realize that you need a tremendous amount of capital in order for you to drive the price up significantly. Another factor that makes the situation even more complex is trade-ups. Trade-ups are one of the most important mechanisms in the CS economy because they enable the player to trade up one item to the next level. This means that some skins will continue to be produced even if the original source of the item is no longer as common. Therefore, if a certain skin is placed somewhere in the middle of the trade-up chain, investors will be able to produce more of that item as long as the necessary materials are present. This makes it even more difficult to move the price up because of the constant supply pressure. Then there is farming. A lot of casual investors do not understand how much automated activity there is in this space. As soon as a set of skins becomes profitable to farm, both systems will immediately start recognizing this and start running the content needed to start generating those skins. As a result, there is a huge increase in new skins entering the market. As everyone else is buying and holding these skins, automated systems are farming them out. As a result of this, the supply curve is constantly moving. This is part of the reason why ROI on an investment may not be an accurate measure. A lot of people see an attractive ROI and think this means they should get involved. However, they do not see how this means there will be competition for those skins. As a result of this competition in farming for these skins, the supply curve may actually grow faster than the demand curve. As a result of this, prices may actually drop. One of the things that people do not understand about this market is how important information timing is. Unlike in traditional financial markets, there is no news system. Information is spread around via YouTube videos, Twitter updates, and Discord conversations. This means that some people get this information before others. The basic flow of events for a successful skin investment is very predictable. To start with, a number of investors will start buying an asset. At this point, this asset is very cheap and there are plenty of them for sale. No one is paying attention to this asset. Over time, however, the number of these assets for sale on the market will start to dwindle. As a result of this, prices will start to rise. However, at this point, the majority of the players still do not recognize anything out of the ordinary. Nevertheless, the price movements and the reduction in the number of listings will eventually become so significant that people will start to ask questions. They will want to understand the reasons for the increased prices and the decrease in the number of listings. And it is at this point that the content creators and investors will start to discuss the item. It is at this point that the narrative starts to form. And so you will start to see videos coming out on YouTube explaining the benefits of this particular skin as an investment. People will start to discuss the number of listings for the item on Twitter, and the market will start to buy the item. There are also instances where the players try to manipulate the prices through other means. One of the ways is by controlling a large number of the listings for a specific item. By having a large number of the skins for an item, the investors can sell the items at various price points and then sell the items gradually to create the illusion of the prices increasing organically. If the charts show a pattern of increasing price sales, other traders may interpret this as legitimate demand for the product and begin buying themselves. This in turn reinforces the price increase. Once legitimate buyers enter the fray, the price increase becomes self-reinforcing. Although this type of manipulation is not always successful, it is another way of illustrating the thin nature of liquidity in this market. Another interesting aspect of this market is the distribution of capital. Many people enter this CS market with very small investment budgets. They are spreading their investment across several different items, hoping that this will reduce their risk. Although diversification can be an excellent tool for risk management, extremely small positions are unlikely to generate significant investment returns even when significant price fluctuations occur. The people who are making significant profits are likely doing so for different reasons. They are looking for opportunities and are using significant investment positions to take advantage of these opportunities. Timing and investment size are more important for these people than having a large number of different items. All of this, of course, is done under the umbrella of a single major unknown factor, which is Valve. Valve controls everything in this economy. They control drop rates, case rotation, weapon balancing, and trade-ups. A single change from Valve can completely change the environment of this skin economy. Items can lose their investment story overnight if Valve makes a change. That is why seasoned investors do not discuss guaranteed profits. They discuss probabilities, risks, and their understanding of the system, which helps them make informed decisions. What makes the skin economy of Counter-Strike 2 so fascinating is that it brings all three aspects of gaming culture, speculation, and stock market psychology into play. It is a place where all these people, both human and artificial, come into contact within a single system. Some people do it as a hobby, others do it as a business, others do it as a speculative market like stocks or cryptocurrencies. But however you look at it, however you want to analyze it, the underlying rule is always the same. The system rewards those who understand it, who act early. Those who follow the hype arrive late, and it is not until they are gone that they understand their mistake. The next time you are told that a certain skin is a guaranteed investment, ask yourself a different question. Who was it who discovered this opportunity first? Who was it who gathered all this supply? And who is it who is waiting for new people to enter so they can finally sell? Because at the end of the day, every market has winners and losers, and the difference between them is usually just one thing: timing. That's about it for this video. I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for staying until the end and listening to everything I had to say. Don't forget to drop a like, it only takes a few seconds, and subscribe if you enjoy me as a person and the content I make. My goal is to reach 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I know I started late, but I didn't have the equipment to record before, and I had other things going on. What matters is that I'm here now and I can finally make videos. Also, don't forget to leave a comment with your opinion. Whether it's good or bad, I'll still listen to it.